To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. So in yesterday's video, you saw me putting the felt house covering on this wall, and then I raised the wall. Felt like I got quite a bit done. Well, yesterday evening, I decided, you know what, I don't have much to do, and it was a nice cool evening. It was pretty nice out. So I decided to go ahead and raise this wall also. Got the house covering on it as well, and it went up in just a few minutes. Maybe took me an hour. So I didn't think you're gonna wanna see me just go ahead and do the same thing over here. Today, I'm gonna work on at least getting this wall framed out. I don't know, there might be enough time that I can go ahead and put the OSB on. Who knows how much I can get done. You know, I only get to work a few hours a day, then I gotta go back to my actual job. But this is gonna move pretty quickly now. I think by the end of the week, we'll easily have all 4 walls put on. Now, I recognize that I don't have a header. Everybody wanted me to have a header on this one here, and that I didn't do the header correctly over the door here. Now, a header, what that does is improves the strength of a spot that a stud was supposed to be here. So a stud should have been here, but instead I got a door, right? So you have that weight up there pushing down on that top board, and the theory is that it's going to make that board sag, so you put a header there. Well, now on a header, you're supposed to put these boards, this board right here, on top of that board. Well, I didn't. I just screwed this right into here. In theory, that weakens it. Well, it does weaken it. You're not putting the weight of this board on this board, you're putting it on the screws. In reality, if I were following code, I would have had to put it what's called a jack. I think this is a jack board or jack stand. I forget what it's called. But I use screws. So if you count how many screws, I got 5 screws, and then another 5 screws there. And the same over there. Comes up to 30 screws. Screws can hold anywhere from 80 to 100 pounds. So if you take the average, that's 90 pounds. That comes up to about 2,700 pounds. That's almost a ton and a half. Well, there's no way you're gonna get 2,700 pounds, a ton and a half in that 36-inch span. And now the reason I am not that worried about headers on these 2 walls is they're not supporting walls. This wall will be a supporting wall, and this wall will be a supporting wall over on the other side. And I've read several articles now that non-supporting walls don't need headers. But I did put a header on this one because it's a door, and I figured it's getting a lot of mechanical movement and slamming and banging, and so I just thought I'd strengthen it up. So today I'm gonna work on doing a proper header on this wall because I got a window over here, and so I'll put jack stands and I'll do the header correctly because it's a supporting wall. Now, one of the things I do to just make my day go a little faster so I'm not running back and forth cutting board, installing a board, cutting a board, I try to cut my studs. I count out how many studs I'm gonna need. These are studs here. And then I cut them to length because I don't have stud size boards. I'm not gonna get into all that explanation. So I just cut these to length. Then I can start framing out the wall here and just slide the boards in and start screwing them in. That way I'm only handling the saw once. Then I'm over here handling the drills once. So this is a square. It's not really a square, it's kind of an L, but it's a square. It gives you a straight line is what I use it here for. You can put it up against the board here, and that squares this line up, so you can draw your line. That way you only have to make one mark with your tape measure, and then you can just cut that mark. Okay, next I'm going to start framing out the box, and that's what I'm going to call it from here on out, is a box. And so just like this wall, you start out creating the bottom board, and then the outer, upper, and that you create a box. So this box is 12 feet wide and 8 feet high. Well, this box is going to be 2 boxes actually. This box is going to be 8 feet here and almost another 8 feet here. It's like, I think 11 inches short because of this board right here. This frame is 16 feet long. There's 2 boards, one on this side and one on this side. So anyway, back to my point. So I'm going to make 2 boxes. I'm going to make an 8-foot box, and then I'm going to make another 8-foot box here. Basically having 2 walls. I'll attach the 2 walls together and lift it up as one 16-foot wall. The reason I'm doing that is 16-foot 2x6s are just through the roof. I can't even remember. I think it was $40 for a 16-foot. Got these 8-footers, so I'll just attach 2 8-footers. Now I'm also going to try to figure out how I want to lay out my window. This one we're going to stand up straight up and down. This one we laid on its side here. This we're thinking is our bedroom area right here. And so we're probably going to want a window right over the bed, specifically for emergencies, you know, if we have to get out. The shower is going to be over here, so we got to keep that in mind. Then there's going to be a sink right here. I want to make sure that we don't interfere with that stuff either. Okay, so I got the first square done. Earlier I was telling you I was going to build this wall in squares, so there's the first square. Now I'll do the same thing over here, minus the window. So I got the window installed. Of course, I don't have it attached, but I got it all framed out. I go in 2 feet center. Now what that means is every 2x6 that I put here is 2 feet. Now, typically you go 16 inches center. What center means is the center of the board. You might be able to see that mark right there I've made, but the center of this board is 2 feet from the edge of the outside. Well, actually from that side, not this side. Now the jack stand I was talking to you about before, that this will provide support all the way up to the header. Now I did make a little bit mistake on my cut here. I cut it a little short, but I got to thinking about it. That's not going to make any difference because I have a flat board there, but I didn't want to waste the boards. They're just too expensive, and I'm not having to follow code. If it was code, I would have to recut those boards. Something I had to think about, I'm glad I did think about it, is once I enclose this, see there's a board on both sides. There's a board all the way on the other side and here. So I had to put insulation in there. Otherwise that would have been just empty space. Well, it's 10 o'clock and I wanted to get the OSB on like that, but I got another hour I could work before I have to get back to my regular job. But I figured once I get the tools put away and drag out the OSB, my hour would be shot. So I'm gonna just start putting things away and call it a day a little early. But I still got the whole frame done. Now, as you can see, this is what I was talking about. I made 2 boxes. So this is an independent wall right here. See, I'm lifting. Now, what I did was, since the OSB comes in 4 feet sheets, this is 8 feet. So I'll put 2 pieces of OSB down. We can raise this wall by itself. You know, that way Carolyn doesn't have to lift anything real heavy. I might be able to do this one by myself. I was almost able to do this one by myself. And if I can do it by myself, then I can record myself doing it so you can see how it works. Because Carolyn's not a big fan of being on camera. The only real chore I got now is cutting out the window, because everything else should fit pretty perfectly. And I'll have to cut one piece of OSB, just a straight length, no big deal. So this will go pretty quick tomorrow. I'll be able to get the OSB on, get the felt wrap on tomorrow morning, and raise both walls, and then possibly start onto the third wall, or to the fourth wall. And then we'll have to get 2x4s to start making rafters. Probably we'll be making a trip to Home Depot here shortly in the next week or so. So I can't believe how fast this is going. I really can't. Now that we got all the materials, it's just flying. So I hope I can inspire you to build something. Thanks for watching.